Recently, one of the clips from the podcast that I was on went viral, and of course, the clickbait got a lot of people in their feelings. So, a couple things I do want to say. Number one, I did not say I have a 100% win rate. I'm just always right on the direction of where it's going to go. So, I do want to clarify that because of the clickbait. I do lose. Obviously, we all lose. So, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have a 100% win rate trading because that's just lies. So, let me show you what I did to gain this confidence in my NFP breakdowns in any news event. It's very simple, it's very easy. And because of my swing trading history, it allowed me to understand this better. So hopefully you will have an open mind to watching this and will utilize this in the future or take it into consideration. So what I have done here is I have notated the last couple of NFPs on the daily. And I did that just so you can see, first of all, what I said when I mentioned how it always pushes my trade in the direction that it's already going. So if we look at the trades here, with the exception of April, just because there was a lot of consolidation, that was the only one that didn't really move because we were consolidating. However, it was at a support that it's respected several times and just bounced up. So that is honestly expected during consolidation. The next NFP was May 3rd. As you can see, we were making higher lows and it was a continuation in the move and actually broke this previous structure. Then we have June 7th. June 7th gave us a retest on this structure. So the NFP candle was not a continuation candle. However, it did set us up for the move that was to come. However, it set us up for what's to come. So this one, again, stayed on top of structure. And like I said, it always moves my trade in the direction that I anticipate, which it's been bullish. Then we have this one right here, which is July 5th. It was a continuation in the trend. The day before we got the retest, okay? Same thing here with the recent one that we had in August, a continuation in the trend, and it was the one that broke the structure right here. So a couple days before, you're going to see that price is going to give you an indication of where it's going to go. April right here, you can see where we had the candles rejecting, then it stops at the support. It has stopped every single time in this area, letting us know it's going to go up. And we're going to dissect this on a smaller time frame. Same thing here, rejection candle right here, retest, pushes up. So we were able to identify what was going to happen 2 days prior. Same thing, well, not with this one. We already were in a continuation move. This was just a pullback. So with this NFP, this one literally was just a retest, and then it gave you what we needed. This right here gave us the retest, bam, and then we got the retest 2 days prior, 1, 2, retest of structure, and we went down. All right, so that's step one. Let's go ahead and break this down on the smaller time frame. So we're going to look, let's see, we're going to go look at the ugly one first, which is at April. On the 4-hour, the price action prior was right here. So I'm going to move this real quick so you can see. Very obvious, you guys, right? You guys see it right here. Look at the retest. Look at the spinning top. During news, price comes right back to that area to solidify that support is strong and giving us a double confirmation. So that was April 5th. I'm now going to go to the 15-minute. I'm going to go to April 5th. And that was at 8:30. Let's check it out. Here's that news candle, okay? So if you got in prior from the daily, this literally went right back to your entry. Okay, so if you had your stop loss in profit, then yeah, obviously you would have gotten stopped out. You have to study this to understand that you have to wait. Okay, or you can be smarter, like I said in my other reel. Wait about an hour after, 30 minutes to an hour after, and it's going to give you a cleaner setup. So look at the 8:30 candle giving us that major rejection, right? Then wait a little bit. You have your inverted hammers right here, respecting that support, giving us that indication to get into the trade. Bam, takes off, right? So now you're going to write that down. Now we're going to go to the May. Remember, I said 2 days before, it gives you an indication that it's going to go up. So this was a candle right here that let us know this is the rejection. We're going to break that price action down on the 4-hour. We can see right here, price has created a really nice support, rejecting that area. You guys can see beautifully. We have some structure as well in this area. It's letting us know ahead of time what is going to happen. Okay. The news candle is going to, we're gonna look at the news candle on the 15-minute. So we're gonna look at May 3rd. Oh, right here, excuse me. So this is our news candle right here. Look, guys. I mean, I don't know how else to say, like, this shit is easy. Excuse my language. But you have a retest, it lets you know before what was going to happen. It's also it's creating a higher low. Like, it's elementary. It's elementary. And I'm sorry if I'm going to upset people by saying this, but the confidence and all the hate and lack of information and knowledge, I mean, I was just laughing my tail off because you guys really don't backtest. Okay, so I showed you the ugliest one so far, which was April. This one was smooth, it's May. Let's go look at June. And I'm sure someone's going to sit here and try to invalidate this as well. You know what? Hey, live your best life. All right, so we did have NFP on June 7th that day, and you could see this was the one that gave us the retest of the structure right here. This is our daily structure that it gave a retest to. Okay, so we had a little bit of confirmation before. Let's go to that 4-hour. This is it right here, right? So we got the indication of what was going to happen. Now we're going to go down. We already see what's up. It's a break and retest. It's simple. You got spinning tops, rejection candles, everything that's confirming that this is new structure being formed prior to news. So let's go down to the 15-minute. And we're going to go to June 7th. 8:30 candle. This is it. Look. This is it. So what happened here is the news candle was the retest candle. Okay. And that's something to keep in mind. Now, would you have gotten into a buy right here? No. If you got into a buy on the 4-hour right here or on the higher time frame, all it did was go right back to your entry. So you have to understand as a swing trader, if you're trading NFP, if you're getting in on the 4-hour, it's most likely going to come back to your entry and do a retest of that structure. If you're trading the beginning of the move on the daily or the weekly, this does not affect you at all, which is what I was talking about because I'm a swing trader, so I'm catching it at the beginning. Now, as someone that day trades, right? If you're a day trader, look, this is in my free course. It's not rocket science. Right? Look at it, you guys. We're consolidating. That's it. We're consolidating to rejecting. You can write this down if you want to. Personally, I would have waited for the retest to the structure on the 4-hour to get back in. So you want to notate that, like, you're not going to get into a buy at the top. Nobody's getting into a buy at the top. So even though the overall trend was bullish, NFP gave us a retest and then gave us a continuation in the move, and we started to get more upward momentum, right? So notate that. Okay, 15 minutes after NFP, I got a rejection candle, and it was a better entry opportunity to get in. Bam. If there's no setup, there's no setup. If you're a day trader, I do not recommend trading the NFP candle. The only reason why it works for me is because I am someone that is getting into the trade down here. So I'm riding this whole wave. It is moving my trade in a direction that I've already anticipated. So it's different if you're a day trader. So a lot of you were like, oh, no, there's no way it's going to get her stop hunt or whatever. No, it's not. It's not going to do that because I'm in at the beginning of the move. But if you're trading it on a smaller time frame, absolutely. We just established that it likes to come back to that 4-hour structure. So your best bet is to trade the impulse first, get your bunny, and then you know an NFP it's going to come back and do a retest. And then that's where you'll compound. You'll get another entry. And that'll give you less anxiety and better risk to reward. Let's look at the news event for July 5th right here. Okay, so keep in mind that on this higher time frame we would have gotten in here, NFP literally comes right back to entry pretty much. So as a day trader, right, this doesn't concern you. As a swing trader, it's something for you to notate so you know not to bring your stop loss into profit too quick. Now, as a day trader, you can see that 30 minutes after news, you get a confirmation rejection. So you have your spinning top candle, rejection of structure. You could also use your fibs for additional confluence, and you ride the wave, right? Simple, easy, write it down. It took 30 minutes after news. The last one was the same thing. It took 30 minutes after news. Okay, now let's go to the last one, which is August. And this one was another obvious. And I'm using the NASDAQ because so many of you trade NQ now. It's like, that's why I'm doing this, you guys. But we can see already on the daily, there was a break and retest of structure, right? We have a nice head and shoulders. We're retesting the neckline of the head and shoulders on the daily, and we're looking for a continuation. Like, I know this, I was eyeing this particular trade myself with my team, and it was a beautiful move. So that's all obvious. So if you look prior, we're getting a retest to all of that. You go to the 4 hour, we got the indication. Like it's not rocket science. Look, bam, exhaustion, shooting star. You got all the rejection right here. That was on Thursday. News continued to push it in the direction it was going to go. So let's go in the 15-minute as a day trader and let's see what it's looking like. Oops, excuse me. Was it the second? Let me double check. Excuse me 1 second. It was August 2nd, okay. There goes our news candle. Look, you guys, look, I mean, it's in my free course. You have your structure right here. We're consolidated, right? Consolidated. Your news candle, bam, okay, shot down. It shot it down, but the market comes right back. Comes right back to that area. There wasn't any major news, you guys. It just came back, did a bigger retest. Now, normally I do a 35 pip stop loss for all of my trades. So I would have been okay here, but if you're trading NQ, you definitely want to make sure, like I trade NQ on smaller time frames. So I'll use like the 2, 5, and 10-minute. Hey guys, look, it pushed it down and it pushed it 170 pips. Literally. Bam. Bam. And even if like you had to endure the pullback, you should have not gotten stopped out. And it hit, you guys. It hit. Like I don't know what to tell you, but just backtest this. I'm very confident in what I'm saying. Now remember, my confidence stems from trading on higher time frames and getting in at the bottom of the daily and the weekly or the top, depending on direction. But that's how I'm making my money. I think there's a disconnect from the people that are saying hateful things because they just don't understand. So hopefully this will give you some clarification. If you go down to smaller time frames, that's something that you guys will do. But again, I just use a 15-minute because there are going to be a lot of new people that are going to watch this, and I don't think new traders should start on smaller time frames. That's just my personal preference. But just go back and do that with every news event. And we learned by watching this that typically 30 minutes to an hour after NFP, there is a much cleaner setup if you are day trading it. Trying to get in prior, it's going to be too much of a risk. In the long term, NFP moves our trade, our long-term trade, in a direction that we already anticipated. And that is why I was so confident in that clip by saying I am never wrong, because the data is there, you guys. Yes, I have moments where I lose trades. Yes, we're not going to sit here and say I don't. But when it comes to the overall sentiment of where the market is going to go for NFP and every single news event that I've backtested, I'm very confident. And I'm not going to let anyone sit there and try to say that I don't know what I'm talking about, because I just showed you I know exactly what I'm talking about. Have a good one, y'all.